Well, hello, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, and welcome to Racer Nexus. My name is Daniel Zippy Salmon, the commentator, apparently. Typo there, Rob. Sorry, buddy. But we are here at SASCHENRING today, and I've got to say, it's definitely a newer circuit for myself. It is a new circuit for Richard. I believe we had a little bit of a friendly competition between us. Who bought the track the latest? Look at that. Absolutely fantastic camera angle. But I've got to say, it's great to be back here on Racer Nexus, and indeed with the Throttle Freaks, ladies and gentlemen, an absolutely incredibly potent strength of field here today. And I've got to say, right now, Jay Steffi leading the qualifying charge. Richard, I'd ask you about your famous track knowledge at this point, but it's fair to say we're both clutching at straws on this one. So let's talk about the temperature instead. It looks like we're going to have a nice, cool, balmy 18 degrees Celsius or 64 degrees Fahrenheit in freedom units, ladies and gentlemen. The track temperature being slightly warmer of 23 degrees. It is a little bit cloudy. Humidity about 44%. I don't know if that means much to myself, but certainly not the end of the world. It's going to be nice, cool conditions here today at Racer Nexus.
It certainly is very comfortable for the drivers this evening, Zippy. I will give a little bit of track info for the people, though. We're here. There's a nice 13-corner circuit, a small circuit with the 40 cars we've got on track right now. So it's going to be a lot of tight racing, Zippy. Lots of elevation changes. A very technical sector 1, turns 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, all very tight and twisty. Big elevation change. You see them coming up to the start-finish line as well. I think it's going to be interesting, Zippy. I don't think these drivers are going to be too familiar with this track compared to others. Neither are the broadcasters, though, so it's new to all of us.
Yeah, definitely, it's going to take a little bit of familiarization for sure. But ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for having me here. Indeed, on Racer Nexus, as I recognize this driver here. Oh dear, that went wrong there for Felix. Definitely not the line that he had in mind. But I do understand we have a new driver this week as well. Mark Kalin, a huge welcome to you here at Throttle Freaks, as indeed he's going to be in the Pro-Am class, ladies and gentlemen, rocking that beautiful Ford Mustang, as bless you to our producer behind the scenes. Oh, I do apologize. Behind the production controls, ladies and gentlemen, the one and only Mr. Rob Campbell.
Yeah, it's nice to have Rob back. Rob missed last week. This week he's going to take a night off talking. We're going to spare everybody's ears. It's just going to be Zippy and I in the broadcast booth. But Rob back to working his usual magic behind the scenes.
I've got to say, he is a very, very talented director. But I thought you said we were sparing the listeners, ladies and gentlemen. They got me. But I've got to say, SASCHENRING, definitely a... I can hear him chuckling in the background. Definitely a aesthetically pleasing track. I've got to say, change the world, ladies and gentlemen. I like that as a motif. As looks like a couple of drivers still out there doing a couple of laps. And I've got to say, yet again, absolutely fantastic liveries here in the Throttle Freaks field. But right now, Jack Hedgecock's leading the qualifying session. Fantastic stuff from him.
Yeah, not too surprised to see Jack up there. He's been at the front or near the front this season, last season, and the season before. Every year he tells us every season he tells us he's not going to make it back next one. We know he's always lying though, Zippy. He can't resist. Jack back again. Jay Steffi's up there as well. We're going to have some good close battling up front, I think, tonight.
Absolutely, certainly there is a driver. I'm trying to think exactly what his name was, but I'm certainly hoping it's going to go a little bit better. As ladies and gentlemen, we get ready for the grid here for Week 3 Throttle Freaks GT3 League. As indeed, Jack Hedgecock is going to be there at the front row with Jay Steffi alongside for Riot Motorsports. Oleg Lovkov, that's who I was thinking of, for Soul Pack Precision Racing. He's going to be there in third with Mark Kalin. I've got to say, Mark, you show up and then go and put it on P4. Attaboy, nicely done. He's going to be starting there with Brett Furman in P5. William Fenson takes 6th with Jerome Berthium in 7th with Aaron Morgan in 8th. Sean Provost takes 9th with Tyler Graff rounding out your top 10.
Yeah, then we had Sully Sad in 11th and Dave Jensen in 12th. Jeff Evans at 13th. Jacob Fickner rounding out row 7. We have Felix Feliz in 15th with Jason Park beside him. Then Seb Goche with Ryan Connor in 18th. David Bush III making his return in 19th. Nick Bruno's in 20th. Then we had David Morse in 21st and Dale Peterson 22nd. Colin McKenzie 23rd and Andrew Venero 24th.
As we have a look down at P25, ladies and gentlemen, this grid just keeps on going. Herbert Pineda is going to be there alongside Matt Taylor from Madworks Motorsports. Indeed, Evan Jones is going to be there in 27th, along with Ian Cabana in 28th. Stephen McLean takes 29th with Kevin Bechrist in 30th. Christopher Rhines, he's there with Josh going alongside in 31st and 32nd, with Andy Mills in 33rd. James Hand in 34th. Attaboy. UK driver, ladies and gentlemen, with Carson Quinn in 35th, another Soul Pack driver, and Neil Alexander rounding out 36th.
Yeah, rounding out the field, we have Drew DeWeese in 37th, Frank Pisano beside him. Barry Cochran's in 39th with Matt Mars in 40th. 41st place, he did not qualify. We'll see if he takes the grid, is Stephen McDonald.
Well, absolutely fantastic stuff. And I've got to say, it's looking like a nice day here at SASCHENRING. Liquid Molly there, getting in on the sponsorship on the side. I've got to say, definitely an oil I'm familiar with using, ladies and gentlemen, more for the European vehicles. When it comes to something like a BMW, you need to make sure you meet not just the, it's like 5W30 or something like that, but like LL01, for example, it's like a manufacturer spec. So if that kind of thing excites you, I'm also sorry to hear that. You are a fellow anorak, ladies and gentlemen. I have to say it's more the profession than it is the enthusiasm, but fair play. There's a lot of technology that goes into oils and indeed different lubricants indeed. But right now we are currently following here behind the pace car.
Oh, jeez. I'm sorry, Zip. We haven't even done the pace slap, and you already broke me. It's nice to be in the booth again this week with you. We had 45 minutes of racing, folks, here. New track for everybody. We got Daniel Zippy Salmon entertaining you, and he's entertaining me. But we've got Jack Hedgecock's on pole, Jay Steffi second, Oleg Lovkov, and Mark Kalin making a nice introduction to himself here. William Fenson, we haven't seen him for a couple of races, I believe. So William Fenson from Australia up in 5th. Man, this is a tightly packed field, Zippy. 41 cars on a very small track.
Well, it's definitely going to be good, Rob. I do apologise. That's a dirty, dirty word. You can see, ladies and gentlemen, we did not bring the Grade A team today. We bought the special grade. That's certainly for sure. But I tell you what, I have a feeling these guys are indeed going to enjoy it. We make no promises here. At least I make no promises. I can't speak for the rest of Racing Nexus. It's definitely not my place to do that. But certainly, it's going to be a fun show, ladies and gentlemen. Certainly, we are going to wish Rob the best of a speedy recovery yet again this week. And we're also going to kind of roast him and call him a little bit of a wimp in the nicest of ways. I'm not going to say it too loud because honestly, he's built like a brick outhouse, ladies and gentlemen. Thankfully, I've got distance to save me. And indeed, Richard as well. Not particularly the most agile of drivers there, but certainly it's fair to say they could both definitely kick my ass. But fair to say, I'm happy to be here in the booth room yet again. It looks like we've got an absolutely we did have an absolutely fantastic driver cam there with Matt Mars. Thank you very much. Look at that. Fantastic stuff. I can see a Stream Deck XL there, a Stream Deck mix behind on the bottom left, and that, I believe, may be a GSI wheel, but I know Rob would be the man to answer that one.
Hey. I do use the GSI myself as well there, Zippy, so I'm kind of used to them. But here we go, folks. Come down the start-finish line. Jack Hedgecock's leading the way. Jack Hedgecock's off to a good jump. Jay Steffi in behind him. Oleg Lovkov, we're going to go too wide. They're swinging it out wide. Jack Hedgecock's got this one cleared. He's got the field all in behind him right now. Oleg Lovkov up to second. Mark Kalin moving up to third. Big loser on that first corner. Jay Steffi down 2 places.
Oh, definitely not what he had in mind, but there will be a pit stop in this race. You can see the number 69 car going very close to the inside. A Ferrari is going to be on the outside. That's the number 7 car, ladies and gentlemen. William Benson. There is a Ferrari in the lead. Don't get me wrong, it's been one of the underestimated cars in the GT3 circuit as of late, but right now he's doing a fantastic job side by side, still, ladies and gentlemen, with the Mercedes of Brett Thurman.
Yeah, it's been a good start for everybody. We're taking a look on board with Aaron Morgan in his brightly covered livery of the Porsche. Brett following along in behind. Here he's in 7th. He's following a line. He gets that move. He's by William Fenson now. William Fenson tucks in behind. Drivers being a little cautious here on the opening lap of the race here.
Well, certainly cold tyres is indeed a thing, but I've got to say, we actually got to speak to Jack Hedgecox last week, ladies and gentlemen. He was honestly pretty chill. It's great to get to know him a little bit. With Oleg Lovkov, definitely one of the drivers who was not the best of races, don't get me wrong, as right now you can see he is applying all of the pressure, ladies and gentlemen, or indeed having all the pressure applied, as indeed we are just getting this first lap down and underway.
Yeah, first lap, a very successful lap. Drivers doing a good job of negotiating the tight confines here. Jack Edco's leading the way, Oleg Lovkov in behind him, but man, oh man, Zippy, we got battles up and down the track. We're taking on board here with Oleg Lovkov. Oleg coming around through the turn 3. There's going to be going uphill now. They're going to go into a little left-hander. Oleg Lovkov sticking close. Mark Galen falling a little bit behind. He's about 8/10 back of him.
Well, indeed, it's still early on in the battles right now, but let's have a
Whoa.
quick... Oh dear, that's definitely not what he had in mind. Mark Kalin on his debut round puts it in 4th place, you know, that absolutely gorgeous Mustang. It almost... I thought for a second there it said Cowabunga, and that'd be a fantastic livery, ladies and gentlemen. I'd absolutely love to see that as not one of the Mustangs making his way go by, but definitely a little bit of cold tire symptoms there, as now the Mustang has made a pass, and indeed the Porsche is looking to make a run as well. Let's take a look here at the replay. Completely self-induced, gets in a little bit hot, and it looks like just on the power, a little bit too aggressive, and the 62 goes right round, baby, right round.
Yeah, fortunately for him, he did manage to keep the rear wing on, but Oleg Lovkov has lost a bit of the front end of that car. I'll take a look back at the replay later on, and oh my goodness gracious, Oleg Lovkov not having the lap he was looking for.
Well, definitely not what he had in mind, ladies and gentlemen. Beautiful Mercedes. I have a feeling maybe just give a little bit of a nudge there to the back of the 88 car, and that was enough for the iRacing physics just to send him off course. But fair to say, he's definitely going to be missing a front bumper now. The open concept Mercedes, the 690 of Lovkov, is going to be at a disadvantage for the rest of this race.
Yeah, it's going to be tough, but we saw that last week with the cars having no front clip on them. Zippy doing quite well, so we'll see if Oleg can have his fortunate luck as we take a look at Jason Park now. Jason Park looking to take advantage of that situation. Jason Park in 12th place. He's up 4 positions already, folks, looking for more.
Well, definitely, there's still a lot to go. But, ladies and gentlemen, remember, we do have 3 different classes in this series, ladies and gentlemen. But despite that, the field does appear to be quite mixed up. Certainly, by all means, refresh my memory here. I have a feeling red was AM, green was Pro-Am, and then the blue was Pro, but by all means, tell me if I'm wrong. It wouldn't be the first time.
Well, yeah, we definitely have 3 different classes here. Jason Park in 12th. Jason Park is in the Pro-Am class, I believe. So Jason Park, Jack Hedgecox. Of course, Jack Hedgecox, no stranger here. Jack Hedgecox, one of our pro drivers, leading the pack here with a big 3 1/4 second lead now with that incident with Oleg behind him. So Jack Edgeco's off to a nice little gap here, Zippy, leading all of the drivers of the, looks like we had 39 take the green flag.
Absolutely fantastic stuff, and I've got to say, loving the variety we have through the field as well. Ladies and gentlemen, we even have a Lamborghini that's currently back there in P13 right now, and I even saw an Aston Martin that's being driven by Evan Jones, the number 24 car, so it's fair to say very well represented. Actually, I don't think we're even missing a single manufacturer here from the GT3 field, but right now, Dave Jensen under pressure there from the 33 of Jacob Fichtner.
Yeah, Jacob Fichtner, I mean, we've got a big train here. We've got 39 cars out on the track right now. Not a big track. There's going to be drivers and cars everywhere you go. Look at this big train here. Dave Jensen sitting here in 8th place in the beautiful colored livery of that Mercedes. Dave Jensen getting the job done, up 4 places. Jacob Fichtner in behind him, up 5 places. So lots of moves going on early on, Zippy.
Yeah, definitely. You got to decide just how bad you want it. And certainly, with there being a pit stop in this race, honestly, I would try and find somebody who's of similar or slightly faster pace and see if I can just tuck them behind our rear wing. But certainly, right now, we're watching the number 48 car of Aaron Morgan, the Madworks machine, as he indeed, the pop art liveried Porsche, is currently there in P4. He did manage to sneak away with a podium at the last round. And fair to say, he's got a little bit of work to do if he wants to catch up to the race leader of Jack Hedgecock, who's about 4 seconds ahead as it stands.
Yeah, right in behind Aaron Morgan is Tyler Graff. Tyler driving a little bit more of a subdued colors than we're used to seeing, but certainly these two guys, teammates here, quite happy with their positioning right now. 4th and 5th place, up 4 positions, up 5 positions. The Madworks team doing quite well so far.
Yeah, definitely a really, really beautiful paint job. I love the pop art look, ladies and gentlemen. Indeed, we actually ran that Top Gun Racing, ran that many years ago at Daytona 24. It's actually coming up this weekend, ladies and gentlemen. Certainly, I have a feeling a few of these drivers will, without a doubt, be running in this. And certainly, I wish I still did it, ladies and gentlemen. But Rob, you'll remember this for sure. I think Richard would as well. We used to do a charity fundraiser every year to Cancer Research Institute, and I think we raised over $3,000 as well doing it. Don't get me wrong, it's been a while since we did it, ladies and gentlemen. But certainly, anybody who is running the Daytona 24 hour this weekend, good luck, first of all. And certainly, if you're doing it for a charitable cause, even more so, we take our hats off to you.
That's for sure. We're not out here to get rich, Zippy. We're out here to have a good time, and if you can help somebody else out while doing it, so much the better. Back on board here with Herbert Pineda. Herbert Pineda had a little rough week last week, but Herbert Pineda started 25th. He's up to 20th now. Herbert Pineda is a little bit on the move so far, up 5 positions, looking for a little better results than he saw last week.
Yeah, I believe he's not quite the hard charger, ladies and gentlemen, but you know what? He's got in a really good, solid standing right now. But the hard charger actually is going to be the number 18 car in one of the few McLarens in the grid. That's Neil Alexander, who's currently under pressure from the British driver of James Hand, and that's going on for P31, ladies and gentlemen. Indeed, battles throughout, but right now we're keeping an eye on Herbert Pineda. As I say that, James Hand, we're going to see he's got even closer, and I do remember this McLaren now, ladies and gentlemen, the leopard print McLaren, as right now the 744 of James Hand, he must be absolutely exhausted. It's going to be about 2 o'clock in the morning in the UK, but right now he is very much applying the pressure to the back of that McLaren.
Yeah, James Hand had a good week last week, making the broadcast booth for interviews after. Always nice seeing James Hand, always having that camera on. He's been racing with us at Throttle Freaks for a number of seasons now. Certainly he's a late night owl, so driving early in the wee hours of the morning, but it's bright light here in Germany for James Hand.
Indeed, and certainly fair play. That's commitment, ladies and gentlemen. Actually, I think the biggest distance I saw a driver with like time zone going, obviously Australia, but I've also seen some people in the Antarctic running in sim racing leagues at what I would consider normal times. But right now, we'll forgive them for this, ladies and gentlemen. The Red Bull liveried, I believe it's Red Bull liveried Porsche 911 there of Andy Mills. He's running for an independent team. Fair play, attaboy. He's currently here in P33 and very much applying the pressure here to the back of Drew DeWeese in that Ford Mustang as he looks to make a move there up on the inside. We get it done late on the brakes. Ladies and gentlemen, that is exactly what the Porsche is known for. It really can throw the anchors down going into a corner, but right now, can the Mustang fight back? As you see right behind him, a bit of Mustang action, ladies and gentlemen. It's Philippe Feliz versus Carsten Quinn.
Yeah, those two Fords battling hard here. It doesn't matter where you are in the field, we're either battling for 3rd or 4th, you're battling for 33rd or 34th. These drivers going nose to tail, side by side, using all the track and a little bit of the sand too. Nice moves going on here. Carsten Quint now tucking in behind in 35th place. Felix Feliz up ahead in 34th.
Well, what I can tell you, ladies and gentlemen, is indeed it looked like Mark Kalin has indeed returned to the track, so that's definitely some good news to hear there, as indeed battles happening throughout, ladies and gentlemen. Right now, we keep an eye on William Benson in that beautiful Ferrari, albeit a little bit more modest than some of the other paints here. And right now, Tyler Graff very much applying the pressure in that Porsche. This is the battle for P5 overall.
Yeah, P5 overall and P5 in class as well. All those drivers in the top 6 are all pro drivers at this stage. The leading pro-ams in 7th, Jerome Berthiaume. 8th place is our leading amateur in Dave Jensen. So right now the pro drivers have a lockout, but the pro-ams and amateurs not too far behind, Zippy.
Yeah, definitely. That's what I do love about this field as well. It's certainly, look at the car 217. Like, he's supposed to be M class. I disagree on this occasion. That Ferrari is very much up in the standings later on. P7 overall in a 41 car grid. Fair play from Jerome Berthiaume doing an absolutely fantastic job. But don't get me wrong, he's got pressure ahead of Tyler Graf, and indeed he's got pressure behind from the 692 there, the Mercedes of Dave Jensen.
Yeah, Dave Jensen having himself a good season in the amateur class. He's got Jacob Fichtner in behind him as well. So right now, Dave Jensen looking forward, not looking backwards. Jerome Berthiaume just up ahead. Dave Jensen in behind. Jacob Fichtner following. They're coming across the start-finish line up that big steep hill, entering in the turn one as they start going downhill. Now we've got the big sweeping corner. Now it's going to lead into the tight section here. Very twisty downhill section here at SASCHENRING.
I got to say, I'm absolutely loving the curbs at this track, and I almost feel that every automotive enthusiast garage, they need to have the mat, like with the curbing. I just feel it's going to be the new. We've had the Barina lights, ladies and gentlemen. We've had the helicopters in the front yard, at least. It's a certain Facebook group where that is literally the meme of the century, ladies and gentlemen. But right now, I think the curb is really what we need. And certainly myself, I would spend a lot of time on the curb, not because I'm getting the most out of the corner, but because I absolutely overshot the thing. But right now, fair play to him. Dave Jensen doing a fantastic job. He is currently leading the Pro-Am class in P8 overall.
Yeah, that's... We'll just update you a little bit, Zippy. He's actually leading the AM class right now, but
Jerome
Berthiaume up ahead of him is leading the Pro-Am class, but Dave Jensen having himself a great race nonetheless. 11th place right now, we've got Jason Park. Jason Park is kind of sandwiched in between Oleg Lovkov up ahead, Ryan O'Connor in behind. So Oleg Lovkov, after that incident early, is now back on a charge. Got it back up to 10th place, looking to get back up to where he was. He's down 7 positions on the day, but right now Oleg Lovkov is having himself a little handful of Jason Park. Drive Jason Park up the inside. Jason Park getting that move done up the inside, and Oleg Lovkov tucking it in behind.
Well, it looks like he might get a little bit of help there from his teammate of Ryan O'Connor, ladies and gentlemen, for Solpec Precision Racing Black. That's definitely a name that seems very familiar, actually, Ryan O'Connor. I'm sure I've seen him somewhere before. I've got to say, absolutely fantastic helmet as well. One of the more underrated parts of iRacing, I feel, is how often do we really get to focus on helmets, apart from particular one league where they requested a helmet cam. And if you saw the show, you'd see why. Definitely some interesting varieties did appear on there. But right now, Ryan O'Connor, the highest placed Lamborghini in the field, and P12 overall.
Yeah, we've got a couple of Lamborghinis here tonight. We've got Ryan O'Connor in 12th, Andy Mills in 30th. Dave Bush III is struggling today. He's also in a Lamborghini, not up to his usual standards, but take a look here. Something must have happened to David Bush III earlier. He's down 18 positions thus far, and that car looks a little bit wounded.
Yeah, definitely not what he had in mind, but I'm sure we'll gear up a replay for that very, very shortly here. Oh, there we go. As we take a look at a replay here for Drew DeWeese. Now, we saw him getting into a battle earlier with that other Mustang, and oh dear, a little bit of an over-rotation, but fair play. Just about managed to stop the thing from spinning. Beautifully drifted, ladies and gentlemen, and fair play. That Mustang looking very Yokohama, I feel.
Yeah, the Mustang doing what Mustangs are famous for, spinning out for no apparent reason. Unfortunately for Drew DeWeese, but Drew DeWeese will get back on board and get going again as we take a look at Tyler Graf in 6th place. Tyler Graf's falling behind William Fenton, getting by him now. So William Fenton up to 5th place, Tyler Graf down in 6th, and Tyler Graf's going to have to keep his eye out because Jerome Berthiaume is coming hard and quick. He's getting up all over the back end here of Tyler Graf.
Well, I have a feeling we've had a first scheduled pit stop, ladies and gentlemen, but let's see exactly what happened to Seb Gauthier in the 66 machine. You can see an incident surrounding him, and oh dear, that's an alternative. Yeah, let's take a look at that. Oh, friendly fire.
Teammate crying. Oh my goodness.
That's going to go down well. You know what? If this had been the FIA, one of the drivers would have got banned. Where their teammates? Yeah, they're probably just going to have a beer and laugh about it. Look at that move, though. Just goes in a little bit deeper on one of the Solpec cars, goes around, and just keeps rolling. And it's fair to say the teammate was definitely not expecting it. But Sean Provost, a learning experience for himself, for sure. But don't get me wrong, if you're going to hit anybody, would you rather hit your teammate? But certainly not what they had in mind. Both of those cars now retired to the pits.
Yeah, Sean Provost having a stellar amateur season last season, making the jump up to Pro-Am, but tonight not his night. That move just not working. Oleg Lovkov coming into the pits. Ryan O'Connor's in and out of the pits. awfully early. We're only on lap 12 of a projected 35. We're only 15 minutes into this 45-minute race, Zippy.
Yeah, definitely. I've seen the undercut work, but at that kind of margin, I'm actually worried they're not going to make it, ladies and gentlemen. But right now, we're keeping an eye out here on Jeff Evans in the Ford Mustang, and he's got the number 2 car of Nick Bruno very shortly behind him.
Yeah, Nick Bruno is having himself a good race here. Jeff Evans in 12th and Nick Bruno in 13th. On board here with Nick Bruno in the orange Porsche. Nick Bruno coming up the uphill he goes, and making those sweeping left-hand corners. There's just a slight lift on a couple of the corners. A couple of the corners are flat out. But Nick Bruno is going to have to start worrying, because in behind him, we've got Dale Peterson charging hard.
Yeah, definitely Peterson. I remember him being quite a potent driver. Look at that rear wing as well. I know Rob's got a camera for that. Out of doubt, he's got a camera for that. As there's definitely a little bit of promotion going on through what I'm going to say his favorite iRacing broadcast, and we're going to have to tell him to turn that around actually, because that would be Sunex. I can't say it backwards. Bless you there to our producer. He's if he sneezes any harder, you guys may find we go to another dimension. But right now, you can see there, Dave Peterson applying all of the pressure to the back here of Nick Bruno.
Yeah, Dave Peterson doing a good job at this stage. Dale applying pressure, as you said, but go back a little further here. James Hand in 28th place. James Hand coming up on Ian Cabana. James Hand stick the nose out, but tucks it back in behind. James Hand representing us well and showcasing. If you want to get your a little more screen time, folks, we do have webcam space available. The links are in the Discord, so all drivers are welcome to share their webcams if they want. Let us see some live action of them racing. James Hand from the UK falling along behind Ian Cabana, looking to make a move, but Ian Cabana holding him off for now.
Yeah, definitely a guaranteed way to get on the broadcast, ladies and gentlemen. Certainly that, or absolutely bin it. Certainly that's what I usually end up on there for, ladies and gentlemen. Certainly, that's actually a point there that Richard Swindells has never failed to point out. I just want to add that. He's feeling particularly confident after getting a podium in a league race himself. So fair play, but it's all right, ladies and gentlemen. He's going to have me to deal with tomorrow on that, in which case we're going to have a good
2 wins, not just a podium. 2 wins.
Oh, but anyhow, I'm sorry.
I digress.
I got 1 win, and was it a second or a third, or did I get 2 wins too? I can't remember. You would know better than me. But indeed, the trash talk is indeed back, as Aaron Morgan currently battling there to try and hold William Benson behind in that Ferrari.
Yeah, Aaron Morgan doing a good job holding up William Benson at this stage, but William Benson, always a hard charger here in Throttle Freaks. William Benson always has pace. It's just a matter of can he get to the finish line, unfortunately. Well, all that's going on, though, I'd just like to point out Jack Hedgecox, first place, took pole. He's had the lead since the first corner. Over a 5-second lead now to Jay Steffi in behind in second. So hats off, Jack. He's doing great thus far.
Yeah, fair play. That's exactly what he wants to do. Don't get me wrong, he's not going to be able to get any draft, not going to be saving any fuel, but don't get me wrong, being ahead by about 5 seconds is a solid place to be in, ladies and gentlemen. Certainly, it's not often I've had the privilege as such. Certainly, Richard, he's never had that privilege indeed. Rob Campbell, though, he's pretty potent as indeed the roasting continues. But right now, let's take a look here with the Ford Mustang of Felix Feliz, as right now he's trying to get past, without a doubt, my favorite McLaren on the grid, one of the few McLarens on the grid, being driven by the one and only Neil Alexander.
Yeah, Neil Alexander, a longtime member here, racing with Throttle Freaks, has Zippy's favorite livery, but unfortunately, Felix Feliz going way off track. Neil Alexander moving on up. Neil Alexander up to 12 positions now, Zippy.
Well, absolutely fantastic charge by him. Let's have a look and see what happened with Felix. See that in the Mustang gets a little bit loose, and fair to say it could have gone a lot worse. Be grateful for a little bit of a run off there, as that's the Red Bull car. Oh dear, that looks like it was about to get a little bit dicey. And right now, indeed, that Porsche has found its way ahead of Felix, being driven by Andy Milnes. But what can he do to try and hold that Mustang behind him?
Yeah, I mean, this is fabulous racing, folks. We're at 50 or 20 minutes into this race. We're battling here 25th, 26th, 27th place. Let's take a look at what happened with Colin McKenzie. Colin McKenzie kind of all on his own here. Going around the corner, going up the hill, and just getting on the throttle. Car's a little off balance. It spun around a little bit on him, and Colin McKenzie going to have to gather back up and get back underway.
Yeah, definitely not what he had in mind, ladies and gentlemen. Indeed, driving one of the few Acuras. Certainly is a little bit OP when it first joined, but certainly, without a doubt, my favorite team name, ladies and gentlemen, Nick Bruno in the Trash Panda Racing Machine. Now, I'm picturing a beautiful livery for that. Don't get me wrong, I do like the Panda on the side, but I feel we need more trash on this, Nick. I would love to see even more, like, just absolutely go crazy with it. But right now, that Trash Panda, don't get me wrong, I've never seen a particular creature of such drive with such precision, ladies and gentlemen. Certainly, I'm impressed. As right now, that Porsche is currently P3 in the Pro-Am class, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, you would be correct, Zippy. There we go. That is the fastest raccoon I've ever seen, and I'm glad to see that he's not in the garbage bins. So Nick Bruno had himself a good race, up 7 positions, representing himself well in the Trash Panda Racing. As we take a look at Dale Peterson in for his scheduled pit stop. He's up on the jack stands, but sometimes they just do that to fake us out and make us think they're taking tires. Doesn't look like Dale did. Dale's off and away now.
I honestly don't know a way of faking that, Rich. Just by all means enlighten me on that one. But let's take a look here at the AM leader, ladies and gentlemen. This is a 217 of Jerome Berthiaume. And he's not only doing that, he's doing it in a Ferrari, but I have a feeling this is where team strategy pays off. Solpack, certainly a name to be recognized in the sim racing world. Daniel Gray used to race with him, I can tell you that much. And indeed, he did have a logo on his stream for the longest of times. Don't ask me the details, I don't know. Certainly Daniel Gray, I can relate. He's an interesting character, and you never know what's going to come out of his mouth. Indeed, Rob, I'm sure
like you, Zippy.
Exactly the same kind of scenario. As indeed, I see a beautiful Aston Martin ahead. So Henry, there we go, attaboy. As the Evan Jones machine there, the number 24, looking remarkably good there, currently in P17 and indeed in P5 for the AM class.
Doing a good job at Steve McLean in behind him. Evan Jones, Steve McLean, then we got Kevin Berquist. All these drivers up 10, 11 positions. Josh going in behind them up 12 positions. So all these drivers in the mid-pack making some huge gains, and that's not all from people who have pitted ahead of them. There's some passes and drivers making some moves.
Speaking of which, Oleg Lovkov just made his way past Drew DeWeese there. We do know that Lovkov is definitely running a little bit of a compromised sprint strategy from where he wanted to be, but thankfully, that being no, how dare you, that Mercedes does appear to have been resolved, and actually, come to think of it, BMWs, we don't have too many of them in this race today, but certainly Christopher Rhines, he's rocking on, currently in P21.
Yeah, Christopher Rhines, a long-time racer here at Throttle Freaks as well, driving for SRTE White. It's often difficult to tell the SRTE teams, but we can tell, I was told, by the color of their wheels this season, Zippy. So SRTE representing, having a few teams out here, but the color of the wheels let us know who they are. We're on board now. Aaron Morgan sitting here in 5th place. Tyler Graff in behind him, but William Fenson got up ahead. William Fenson up in 4th, looking for some more.
Well, as you say that, let's take a quick look here at the championship team standings, ladies and gentlemen. Indeed, we got a team championship happening here at the Throttle Freaks GT3 League. And right now, Solprek Precision Racing Black in the lead with 206 points. That is a 40-point lead over Mad Mercs. Gering Motorsport, there. Don't know what accent that was. Gering Motorsport's there in 3rd, about the zippy map here, about 9 points behind. Might be failed. Yeah, 9 points behind there in 3rd with Riot Motorsports, just 7 points behind them. And then, ladies and gentlemen, it continues to be close all the way down the order. You see there, have a look. I was reading that.
You were reading it, Zippy, but that's okay. We gave up on you.
Look, I'm not done yet. There we go. You see there, the closest battle we have indeed going on, SRTE Green, indeed Ace Motorsports Maverick. There's a name I can get behind. Just 2 points between them, battling it out for P8. As you were, gentlemen. And Rob.
There's nice close battle. We're early in the season here at Throttle Freaks, so we'll get we're sitting here at SASCHENRING. We're not at Imola as the leaderboard shows, folks. We'll get that updated for next race. But we're going to go back into the mid-pack here with Ian Mills in the Red Bull livery Porsche. Ian Cabana in behind him. And man, these guys are having a good close battle. We're sitting here 23rd, 24th, 25th place. Colin McKenzie following in behind them. We got a 4-car train going across the start-finish line.
But I gotta say, it's a beautifully coordinated train as well. I'm almost getting a little bit of the Hot Wheels vibe from the Ferrari and indeed the car right behind, as it's definitely looking like that. As we got potential pass there, Oleg Lovkov absolutely sends it there on Carsten Quint.
Yeah, no surprise, Oleg Lovkov. Huge iRating and great pace. Just having a little bit of an issue early on, looking to get back. We'll take a look on board here. Oleg Lovkov is setting it way inside, getting a little bit of the draft and saying, I'm taking this spot here. and I'm going to look for a couple more while I'm at it.
Absolutely fantastic stuff there from the driver at the 690. Certainly, he's currently down 24 positions. Not exactly the strategy he had in mind, but right now, we're taking a look here at the battle going on for P2, I believe, ladies and gentlemen, as Brett Furman chasing down in that Mercedes, trying to catch up to the Mustang ahead of Jay Steffi.
Yeah, two long-time Throttle Freaks racers. Brett Thurman in the bad Santa Brett Santa, he's not in the Mustang anymore, he's running the Mercedes. Jay Steffi's in the Mustang, though. Jay Steffi always having a brightly colored livery as well. This is what he's showing us off today. That beautiful livery of the white, blue, red. He's got a little green on there. Bright green wheels. You never know what you're going to get with Jay, but you're always going to get something special. Yeah,
it's definitely, you're not going to miss it at a parking lot, ladies and gentlemen. Certainly he is enjoying all of the colors of the rainbow there. And fair play to him. I love a colorful livery, ladies and gentlemen. Certainly like a little bit of vibrance. But right now, we're taking a look there at what I believe is another battle going on. For a second, I thought it was our race leader. That is our race leader. Oh, the battle for 17th. My apologies, ladies and gentlemen, as indeed that's Evan Jones and indeed Kevin Bergquist duking it out. No, it ain't.
Yeah,
it's Kevin Bergquist and Josh Cohen.
Yeah, Kevin Bergquist is one of the elder statesmen of the league, Zippy. He's up in my range and maybe a little bit then some, always having himself a good battle, a good race. Josh going in behind him, so right now Josh going up 14 positions, Bergquist up 13 positions, so those two drivers are making some big moves.
Well, we're keeping an eye here on the battle that's going on between the Mustang and the McLaren. It's been raging. Oh, that's contact! I had a feeling that was going to happen, and indeed Felix was definitely taken for a little bit of a ride there. I have a feeling his facial expression is not going to be the same as his profile picture right now, as indeed that Mustang makes a return to the track. Thankfully, no damage. Oh, that was Lovekopf there. He was not going to be a fan of that. Potentially questionable rejoin, but look, he tries to make a move there on the outside, and the McLaren was just not quite giving up the space there. I think it was just a racing incident, but certainly an unfortunate maneuver there for the driver of the number 10.
Yeah, Felix looked like he was turning in there, but there was nowhere to turn. There was a car already there, unfortunately, but if we take a look at Oleg Lovekopf squeezing by, no damage. Felix Feliz in the pits now.
Yeah, definitely not what he had in mind. But you know what? If you're going to make a pit stop after spinning it, it's a good time. Give them tyres a chance to cool down. As the number 7 car has picked up a slowdown, ladies and gentlemen. They're currently serving a yellow flag. Definitely going to want to try and bleed that off pretty quickly. So they've obviously been a little bit too flirtatious there with the track limits. And this could open up an opportunity here for Aaron Morgan. He is closing in. The Ferrari is trying to do right now is bleed the speed off on the racing line. And he's had to bleed it off really quick. It's too late. He's picked up a black flag, ladies and gentlemen. He has caught the attention of the stewards and indeed been penalised for it. That could potentially be a drive-through penalty, ruining his racing chance.
Oh, I feel for William Fenson. William Fenson not having the best of luck, and unfortunately it looks like he created his own luck in this situation. William Fenson going to have to serve that black flag before this race is over. He's got himself a few laps to do so, but that's basically going to ruin any chances he had at a podium finish tonight.
Oh, it does look like we've got a few of our drivers making their way down pit lane as well. The beautiful Aston Martin of Evan Jones has made his way down the pits. Andy Mills in the Porsche as well. Colin McKenzie is there in the Acura. You've got to see this this pack indeed is going to re-emerge very shortly, as there goes the Aston Martin. And I've got to say, things shaking up in the pits quite a lot there. A few people getting spread out. Definitely some different strategies going on here at SASCHENRING.
Yeah, definitely some different strategies. It looks like about just over half the field so far on their pit stop. We've got Evan Jones coming on the exit, going side by side. My goodness gracious, real close, tight battle in here. 28th place, 27th place, and Matt Taylor. Oh my God, everything so far so good though, Zippy. Getting close, but no contact.
Well, definitely, that just means they're not pushing hard enough, ladies and gentlemen. Certainly, I enjoy rubbing his racing, but right now, that Aston Martin, he's just fresh out the pits. The car is going to feel slightly different. And myself, not much of a GT3 driver specifically. I'm going to narrow it down to me being compromised in driving skill just for the GT3s, because why not? I can't give Richard too much ammunition on this, but certainly I believe you've driven these a little bit more than I am. Now the Aston Martin, certainly I don't really know how it drives. Certainly the Porsche always known to be very good on the brakes, the Mustang good to be in a straight line, but the Aston Martin, is there any information that you could potentially add about that car that I am not familiar of, other than the fact it's beautiful and British?
Well, I mean, it's beautiful and British, and surprisingly, it lasts the whole race, Zippy, considering the that it is British, but no, I'm not the big GT3 driver. Actually, I don't even own an Aston, although it's my wife's dream car. So I think Rob would be the expert on this, but the Aston certainly handles well, and we've seen good results out of a lot of drivers in this league over the last couple of seasons since it's been introduced. I'm going to go back on board here. 23rd place, the SRT green car of David Morse. David Morse sitting there having himself a little bit of a battle with David Bush III. So David Bush III struggling a little bit. David Morse doing a good job holding him off. He's down 2 positions on the day. David Bush III down 5. Both these drivers are looking to make some moves, but we're running low on time. We're over 30 minutes in this race. We're on lap 23, about 34, 35 laps we expect.
Well, we have just seen another couple of drivers bring down pit road, but right now David Bush is going up against the Ferrari there of David Morse. We got a bit of David on David action. The Italian Stallions, at least that's what the cars are going to be, are battling it out here for P23. But right now that gap's starting to grow as look at the pit lane. Ladies and gentlemen, it is a hive of activity, and indeed that is incredibly close from the Porsche. Are we going to see a potential battle here on pit exit?
Yeah, and that pit exit is tight because that's basically the racing line of the drivers who are not exiting the pits. So far, so good. No harm, no foul. We're taking a look on board with Jason Park flying along behind Dave Jensen. Jason Park is sitting in 10th place right now, having done his pit stop, as did Dave Jensen. Jack Hedgecoach has done his pit stop. Basically, most of the drivers, we're just waiting for a few more to come through. So the pit window is about closed now as we're coming aboard. Oh, car off the track. Oh, my goodness. Is that Jay Steffi up there?
It is.
Who just gone off the track in that beautiful livery. We'll have to take a look and see if we can catch that later, but Jay Steffi having an unfortunate off track cost him a few positions.
Yeah, definitely not what he had in mind. And here we go. It's I recognize that car there. He's going around the exit, and I do have to wonder if it's a little bit of too much power. No, it's contact, ladies and gentlemen. Can we get that from another angle? Aaron Morgan there trying to make a move on the inside, maybe even like a more aerial shot potentially there. I do have to wonder if the 48, certainly you can't mess up the paint job on either of these cars, but here we go. There's Jay Staffy. He's there. He's hugging the apex, and that Porsche just dives in. Yeah, I'm not too sure how I'd call that one.
Yeah, I'm glad I'm not a steward here, Zippy. We had some incidents last week. Whoa.
Oh, nearly on the rejoin.
That was close, and I'm glad we're broadcasters and not stewards, because being a steward's never any fun. I've done that for a few seasons. We're going to go on board here with Dave Jensen. Let's take a look and see what Dave Jensen saw happening here. Come around the corner, and the back end, getting up on the curves, getting off balance, and put it into the wall.
Well, they do say that I don't know if I would have done that. Definitely, I get the intention, but I don't know if I would have done a 180 there on towards the racing line. Definitely a little bit unfortunate, but they do say that the AMG Mercedes sound a little bit like a bulldozer, and indeed it does. In some ways, it's a beautiful bulldozer of a sound, but certainly not quite have the power or indeed the equipment to mow down the track guard.
No, that's definitely true. We're number 14th. We got Ryan O'Connor here. Ryan O'Connor in following behind Andrea Venaro. Right now, these drivers having a good race. Andrea Venaro up 11 positions, Zippy. So lots of people making a lot of changes in positioning, making up some big moves as Andrea Venaro. But right now, Ryan O'Connor is getting a little bit hungry.
Well, it looks like we've got a battle actually happening a bit further back as well. P26 overall. Does that look like contact there? That's Lovkov trying to make his way through as I see smoke ahead. That can't be good news. Indeed, I do have to wonder if the stewards will be waving the brown flag. But look right behind Lovkov, ladies and gentlemen. That is indeed Dave Jensen there in that Mercedes. He's got some pace ahead of him. Can he stay with him and try and potentially recover a little bit there from that minor mistake? But indeed, I see that Neil Alexander's just left the pits. That's good news. Drew DeWeese, he's getting into action as well. But right now, Silly Sad is trying to hold on with Lovkov right behind.
No.
Oh, dear.
A whole lot of ugliness. Yeah.
After you, Richard.
Lovkov here. Yeah, Lovkov up here, throwing it up the inside, and and then the cars just came together, pushing back out on the track, and fortunately nobody else collected in that melee.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind seeing that from the perspective of the Porsche there, like if we go to like a roll bar cam or something like that, because I do have to wonder. I mean, you see the move, it's a late move. Fair play, the gap does close, but I'd like to see that from the Porsche's point of view, because it almost looked like that was almost retaliatory there. I'm not quite sure. I would hope not, but I would definitely understand the frustration there. Yeah, the teddies may have indeed been thrown out the pram.
Yeah, it may have been just one of those things with some of the iRacing physics, the way the cars, once they come together, they kind of stick together. Let's just hope it was that. And I'm gonna go on board. Here's your wish. We're gonna look from behind as they come on board, and cars just come together. Dave Jensen doing a fabulous job of avoiding any catastrophes there, getting through relatively cleanly with a minimal time lost.
Well, indeed, let's have a look here. Dave Jensen on the way round, ladies and gentlemen. As right now, he is under a lot of pressure here with Jeff Evans right behind him. Indeed, Andrew Venaro looking to get into the mix as well. 3 different classes, 3 different drivers, and all of them contending to try and stay in the top 10, if not a little bit further up, with Dave Jensen currently holding 9th place.
Yeah, that's fabulous racing with looks like 6 cars in this line here, Zippy. So in one bad move, you try to make that move and move up a position can sometimes cost you 2 or 3 going backwards. So drivers going to have to take their opportunities where they can, but be very cautious and not to give up anything when doing so. Dave Jensen leading this train around in 9th place. Dave Jensen 2nd overall in amateur.
Yeah, he's definitely having a really good run. Jacob Fichtner, though, fair to say he's about 8.5 seconds up the road, ladies and gentlemen. It's fair to say he's pretty much checked out, unless there is a absolute miracle here for Dave Jensen. He's going to have to settle for 2nd place. Can't say that that's too bad a result, though. Not only that, P9 overall. But a question for you two guys here in the booth. Are these guys scored in class or on outright position as well? Because this could be some really good hauls here for some of these drivers. Certainly Jerome Buffillon, he's in 5th place, ladies and gentlemen. Absolutely incredible drive tonight.
Yeah, Jerome Berthium's always had good pace, and the leading Pro-Am driver at this stage. The drivers, in terms of their points, they get their points based on their finishing position. So it's not based on what position they are in class, it's what position they are overall. So great points haul for Jerome Berthium, great points haul for Jason Park. Jacob Fichtner and Dave Jensen, amateurs, both in the top 10. So they're going to haul in some good points too if this keeps up.
Absolutely fantastic. Actually, speaking of points, are we doing driver points as well today? Because by all means, we should probably cover that at some point if that is the case. But right now, we've got Jerome Buffillon. He is looking absolutely, well, he's damn quick, ladies and gentlemen. The 217 car, that Ferrari there. And it looks like he's trying to get into a fight as well. Tyler Graf right ahead of him. 0.4 of a second. He's got 7.5 minutes left to go. Can the pro driver of the 771 hold on? Does that look like he went a little bit wide there in the final corner?
Yeah, they're going to be battling hard, and like you said, because of the way the points work, every position matters. Jerome Berthium can pick up more points if he gets by Tyler Graf. Tyler Graf in it, what I'll call an understated livery for himself. Doing a good job, though, thus far. He's up 6 positions, holding on to 4th place. Teammate up ahead, Aaron Morgan, in 3rd place, the final podium position. We've got Brett Thurman up ahead of him, and then Jack Hedgecox. We haven't talked about him much today because he's got a 10-second lead.
Yeah, and I got a feeling we're about to see a case of GT3 bowling here as they're going to go 3 wide into the first corner. The AMG up there on the inside, and miraculously, fair play, they all got around, at least for now, ladies and gentlemen. The 99 looking to try and recover. Nick Bruno did manage to make his way past, ladies and gentlemen, but indeed, more battles happening as it looks like David Bush the third. Ladies and gentlemen, that sounds so... what's the word? Refined, ladies and gentlemen. He is indeed the 3rd David Bush, sir. As Sully Sad is currently giving him a good run for his money on the inside.
Yeah, he certainly is. And Herbert Pineda making that great move earlier on, but David Bush the 3rd coming up by Sully Sad. Sully Sad had a great race until that incident, I believe, with Oleg Lovkov. So Sully Sad putting way back in the field and not happy about that. We're going to go on board here with Colin McKenzie. Colin McKenzie having himself a good battle as well. My goodness gracious, Felix Feliz losing out on that end, but battling hard, 29th, 30th place here.
Yeah, absolutely fantastic stuff, and it is indeed a battle in class as well. But I wouldn't mind seeing the rear wing here of David Bush III, because despite the fact he sounds eloquent, I have a feeling that Lamborghini is not. I did see a little bit of a... Yeah, well, I mean, it's on the car. That's fair game. That's not the angle I'm looking for, Richard. Robert. Damn it, Rob. And ladies and gentlemen, I take no responsibility for the paints here. Neither does Racist Nexus, but we're here to say we'll call them out and enjoy them nonetheless.
Yeah, well, I haven't commented on yet in 4 seasons on Throttle Freaks, but David Bush using his customary livery this evening once again, always having good pace. Dave Bush third going up the inside of David Morse, going around the outside now. See if he can hang on. David Morse hanging tough though. It looks like David Morse is holding him off for now. David Busch III applying all kinds of pressure, though, at this stage of the race.
Well, saying that, should things go wrong for David Busch III, he will, I'm sure, be able to get a lift back to pit lane, ladies and gentlemen. It does look like he's got a towing company well, on demand, ladies and gentlemen. Certainly fair play to him. I hear he just presses a red button in the car and they come and get him. But certainly some absolutely fantastic racing here so far, as indeed Nick Bruno has basically ended up back in this battle as well, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah, I had to, my communications cut out for a second there, Zippy. I'm not sure why. It might have been the tears in my eyes, I think. Had to take a little break because we take a look here, a little bit of razzle-dazzle, as Rob likes to call it. And drivers going in here. Oleg Lovkov coming up on having himself a good race. Dave Jensen wanting none of that, closing off the gap, not letting Oleg dive in the inside there. Good defensive driving here. Dave Jensen at this stage with Oleg Lovkov in behind him. Dave Jensen applying some pressure to Jeff Evans up ahead.
How on earth did that Mercedes get up there that quickly? That you got to wonder as well. Looking at the lap times, like, don't get me wrong, he's quick, but he's not exactly breaking the mold here. Right now, best lap time appears to be held by Jack Hedgecock. Don't get me wrong, he's clear by 10 seconds, ladies and gentlemen, but it looks like Tyler Graff is still under pressure there from the AM leader of Jerome Berthiaume.
Yeah, Jerome Berthiaume, no stranger to good racing. Jerome Berthiaume, one of the PRL elder statesmen, and that's the form from the ashes. That nice to see Jerome Berthiaume having himself a great race thus far. Applying pressure, she said, to Tyler Graff, but we're running out of time, so we've only got 3 minutes and 20 seconds left. We're on lap 32. I project about 34 laps, so if he's going to get up there, he's going to have to get it done real soon.
Well, certainly he is implying a good amount of pressure, but one thing you do have to keep in mind, obviously, Richard, is fuel, ladies and gentlemen. Certainly, I do remember one particular broadcaster where when the owner would actually race, he was notorious. Well, he wasn't notorious. He forgot to run out of fuel once, and as a result, and in the position he's in, they dubbed it the Thompson Trophy, ladies and gentlemen. Certainly a fond memory indeed. And I do have to wonder if any of the drivers are indeed going to pick that up. We did see it last week, much to my amusement, ladies and gentlemen. Fair play. There is a lot of things at stake, and these guys are on the edge of competition. They're pushing all the limits. There's an Aston Martin there. Makes the movie goes a little bit deep. The Ferrari just trying to hold on. William Benson there. But Evan Jones says, thank you very much. The elbows go out. The booty of the Aston Martin goes ahead. And indeed, he makes his way up to 23rd place.
Yeah, big send there. And while that was going on, like Lovkov got by Dave Jensen. We missed that earlier. So some moves happening with just another lap or two, just over 2 minutes left in this race. Going forward here with Oleg Lovkov on Dave Jensen. Coming up to turn one, Oleg Lovkov dives down the inside. This time gets it moved on cleanly, no issues at all. Dave Jensen relinquishing that spot. Dave Jensen wants to preserve his place right now. Second place in amateur, having a great race. Now falling out of the top 10 and 11th, but still, nonetheless, good job by Dave Jensen.
Well, I have just realized as well that the number 8 car of Matt Taylor, that would be the teammate, I believe, to the number 48 of Aaron Morgan. Both of these cars, absolutely loving the livery. Certainly my favorite livery on one of these Porsches. The pop art theme is really working for me. Can you guys make a green one as well? I'd love to see that. Green, yellow, and I don't know what other the color should be, but not red. Ugh, definitely not red. Maybe green, blue, and yellow. I don't know, but certainly the blue and the purple, it looks really nice. Honestly, I feel like you need mood lighting with this car, but right now the mood is go, ladies and gentlemen, as he is indeed applying pressure to the Ferrari ahead, the 888 machine of Josh Gowen.
Whoa. Yeah, it looked like that 888 machine of Josh Gowen getting a little bit loose there. But
ahead. David Busch ahead, look, side by side. Let's go. Atta boy. Oh, we missed it. Bugger.
While that's going on, Jack Hedgecock's taking the white flag. He's coming around here. Jack Hedgecock's on the final lap, it looks like, folks. Jack Hedgecock's off to a tremendous race start. Tremendous race all on. Whoa, that's getting a little close for comfort. Jack Hedgecock's with a 12-second lead. Last thing he wanted is to get caught up with Drew DeWeese. Unfortunately, no issues there.
Yeah, that definitely would have been a brown flag moment for sure. And indeed, some of these, I believe there's a McLaren and an Aston Martin who have a little bit of material there on the front of the cars for a change of shreddies. It looks like we've got I don't think that's a swimming pool. I'm going to say that's a water supply, ladies and gentlemen. But certainly right now, take your hats off, ladies and gentlemen. Indeed, the crowd is on their feet. You can see them cheering in the stands that are over by the finish line. They obviously didn't build some here. You should have done. It's a beautiful corner. But right now, Jack Hedgecock's doing an absolutely phenomenal job in that Ferrari. He has been untouchable all evening, ladies and gentlemen. And not only that, the best colored wheels on the grid. I've always wanted a set of bronze wheels. It's yet to happen, ladies and gentlemen, but this man giving it a good reputation in that absolutely astonishingly fast Ferrari.
Yeah, Jack Hedgecock celebrating as he's commencing the start-finish line, giving the flash of the lights, little left-right weave. In second place, Mr. Bad Santa himself, Brett Thurman for SRTE Black. Brett Thurman having himself a good race. Third place, we got Aaron Morgan, Tyler Graff, and Jerome Berthube coming across fifth.
Well, indeed, Oleg Lovkov looking to try and make up some more positions before the end. He's got Jeff Evans ahead in that Mustang now. I've got to say, the AMG not particularly known to be great on the brakes at the end. So I see a little bit of dust being kicked up ahead, but is Lovkov able to take one more? He's definitely applying the pressure. Look at the entry speed. He's going to try and do the over-under, not quite close enough. If he gets any closer, he'll be playing peekaboo with that with that Ford Mustang. But indeed, it's going to be a drag race to the line. Comes down to about 129 thousandths of a second.
Wow. Good close racing there, folks. Sully Sad coming across here, 15th. Look at these drivers. Look how close they are. 45 minutes later, Zippy. Side-by-side racing. We got Felix Feliz here. Felix Feliz battling along with Ian Cabana. Oh. Right now, Felix Feliz going off, and Ian Cabana managed to hold on to that position. Felix Feliz not getting... He may lose another one here with the Red Bull car going up the inside. Andy Mills getting that job done. Felix Feliz getting a little loose. Tried for one position, lost two.
Well, it looks like Felix Feliz is going to need one of the stewards to hand him his wallet, as indeed he just got mugged for that one, ladies and gentlemen. The 54 car saying thank you very much, seize the opportunity and capitalize on that as the Yokohama liveried-inspired car, at least I believe so, of Drew DeWeese makes it across the line.
Yeah, it was 45 minutes of fabulous racing, Zippy. First time seeing this track, what did you think?
I honestly love the scenery. It looked like a really good broadcasting track indeed, but I have a feeling Richard is indeed going to step away for a moment as he is going to have a senior moment, ladies and gentlemen. But in the meantime, we're going to laugh about that first off as we see the number 69 car there parked up, just absolutely flaunting it in the sun, ladies and gentlemen. But here is your, that's your results for championship standings, Rob. Is that, okay, sure. Right now in GT3 Pro, we got Oleg Lovkov, not surprisingly, tied at the front of the pack with Stephen McDonald. I can't say that I saw him here this evening with Jack Hedgecock there in third. Look at that, just 2 points going into it for the round. Fair, definitely a good round for him. Jerome Berthube, he's doing really well. Again, this is so close, ladies and gentlemen. In the Pro Championship, Seb Gauthier, not the race he was looking for, with Dale Peterson in third. Look at that incredibly close battling. And then in the M class, ladies and gentlemen, James Hand leading it with 69 points going into this round, with Stephen McLean in second with 65. And a little bit of a gap there to David Jensen with 55. But what absolutely fantastic competition here. But what we should do is go over the race results. You can see there,
I think
Jack
that would be a
Hedgecock.
good thing to do.
Oh my gosh, dude, did you wash your hands? Jack Hedgecock takes the win by 11.68. Please excuse him, ladies and gentlemen. He's moved to the country, and obviously he's forgotten his more sterile ways. All right, do you reckon you can read results, or are you going to keep laughing? All right, I'll read results. Here we go. Jack Hedgecock shows the lead with Brett Furman there in second, with Aaron Morgan in third. Tyler Graff took fourth with Jerome Berthube, able to take that Pro-Am win in fifth. Jason Park took fifth with Jay Safi in seventh. And then Jacob Fickner there in eighth with Jeff Evans in ninth. Oleg Lovkov, despite the earlier incident, still able to recover up to P10.
Yeah, then we had Dave Jensen in 11th, Andrew Venaro in 12th, Ryan O'Connor 13th, David Bush the third, a strong finish in 14th. Sully Sad, a little disappointing in 15th. David Morris, nice moves up to 16th. Josh Goen in 17th. Matt Taylor, 18th.
And then we have a look there.
Kevin Berquist, and then we have Steve McLean in 20th. Herbert Pineda, 21st. Nick Bruno, 22nd. Christopher Rhines, 23rd. Evan Jones, 24th. William Fenson, a disappointing 25th. Neil Alexander, 26th. Colin McKenzie in 27th. Ian Cabana in 28th.
Well, as we continue with the results, ladies and gentlemen, it's a big grid here. In 29th was Andy Milnes, definitely getting that free position at the end from Felix Feliz in 30th. Dale Peterson took 31st with Drew DeWeese in 32nd, with Carsten Quinn there in 33rd. Barry Cochran, we didn't see much of him today. He's in 34th, with then a sad list of retirees, ladies and gentlemen. Mark Kalin, he did keep running in the end. He started in 4th. We saw him there. He had incredible pace, but definitely a little bit of cold tires going on. Seb Gauthier, a little bit of friendly fire with the teammate. He's there in 36th with James Hand in 37th. Then Sean Provost in 38th. Matt Mars, I don't think I saw him take to the start. If so, he wasn't around for very long, ladies and gentlemen. Two laps difference there from Frank Pisano and indeed Stephen McDonald. Both of these guys, I do not believe, took to the start. Well, ladies and gentlemen, we have indeed managed to catch up with our race winner. Indeed, the lead bronze-wheeled car, and indeed the fastest rider, and indeed the fastest man on the track. Now, Jack, we got to speak to you last week. You're a pretty potent driver, but this week, absolutely unstoppable. Tell us exactly what you consumed before this race to give you such an incredible pace.
Drink some water, and I guess I just got to buy the track before the race or something, or watch it. Watch a track guide, everybody. Tell you what, that's the best thing you can do before you start driving, because definitely helps out a lot. But no, I was pretty surprised, honestly, that I was able to have the pace tonight, especially consistent pace. This track was pretty, gave you everything. So it was very technical. So yeah, just happy could learn it quick enough, really.
Well, it definitely looked like a lot of good fun, and indeed, I think I'm almost a little bit lucky there that Oleg Lovkov got into a bit of an incident earlier on. You were absolutely flying there, ladies and gentlemen. Indeed, he did, without a doubt, hold the fastest lap. I'm just having a quick look through. He did absolutely astonishing pace, ladies and gentlemen. But Jack, certainly been a good race for you. A little bit more on the quieter side, but I'd like to tell you I know where we're headed next week. I'm hoping one of these guys know, but how do you feel about that venue as well?
Man, I just did a 24-hour endurance race there this past weekend, so I definitely have a lot of laps at it at Daytona. But I didn't. The Ferrari in the open setup, at least, is not the nicest car to drive. So I'm hoping the fixed is more nice to me. But I mean, it should be fun. I'm sure the pack will be a lot closer than it was. Like you said, with Oleg. Unfortunately, what happened to him, just checking up behind me on those couple opening laps, but I'm sure it would have been a lot closer, and I'm sure next week it'll be a good battle.
Well, certainly Daytona, a very familiar track for a lot of familiar racers, ladies and gentlemen. That was indeed the driver of the number 88 car, Jack Hedgecox. And before we let you go, is there anybody you would like to shout out for sheer domination today at SASCHENRING?
Shout out to the team, Josh, for showing up tonight. I know we didn't have a lot of practice, but kudos to him for showing up and going from gaining a lot of spots tonight. And then shout out to my dad for always watching. I think he's watching tonight. I think he's getting in late, but hopefully he got to catch my first win of the season. So shout out to my dad and any other of the team's family members. Thanks for everyone, and thanks to y'all for providing the broadcasts every week.
Well, certainly we do indeed thank you for that. And as you were saying, ladies and gentlemen, his teammate Josh Gowen up 15 positions, the hard charge of the day. So again, a huge shout out there to the Gowen Racing team. But ladies and gentlemen, that was your race winner, the driver of the number 88, the Ferrari 296 GT3, Mr. Jack Hedgecox.
Hey, Jerome, congratulations. Nice victory today in the Pro-Am class for you.
Thank you, guys.
It's getting to be a little routine getting to speak to you after the races. Your pace, certainly, you had some good pace. You had some great battling all race long. Is this a new track for you?
Yeah, it's a new track for me, so I guess new track fits me well. Next week we're gonna hit Daytona. I'm not racing the Daytona 24, and I know that there's a lot of people racing it, so most of the driver will have more practice than me next week, so next week's gonna be very hard, but I'll take it. I'm very happy with the win.
Well, I certainly would be happy as well. Congratulations. It was a lot of battling, a lot of tight battling all race long. Was it what you expected? It seemed to be a mostly clean race, and it looked like a lot of fun.
Yeah, it was a very clean race, and it's it's a flow track, it's a momentum track, so it's super hard to pass with all of those turns. And I was following Tyler pretty much the entire race, and it was sometimes I was faster when he was doing a mistake. I was doing the same mistake. It was super hard to pass. So yeah, it was just a matter of just keeping it clean and make sure to not make a big mistake, to not lose that momentum.
Yeah, will certainly be a big difference at Daytona next week. Congratulations once again. Anybody you'd like to give a shout out to tonight?
Yeah, sure. Thanks to you at Racer Nexus for the amazing broadcast. Thanks to the league. Thanks to my team sponsors, Solpec, Abruzzi, Cosworth, Virtual Mindset. Thanks to my teammate for the good fun we have all together.
Awesome. Well, hopefully we get to talk to you next week, Jerome.
Hopefully. Thank you, guys.
Thanks.
Well, ladies
Hey,
and gentlemen.
Jacob,
Richard, after you, sir.
congratulations on your victory tonight, Jacob. Nice win in the amateur division.
Well, thank you, gentlemen. That was an exhausting race, so happy to have survived it.
Yeah, I was going to ask how exhausting that would. It was a new track for us on the broadcast booth. Was it a new track for you?
It was a new track, and there was no time for rest. It was just constant focus.
Yeah, it looked like a lot of Sector 1 looked very technical, elevation changes, but you managed to get through everything cleanly, up 6 positions. You qualified well. You must be thrilled with tonight's results.
Yeah, I can't complain. I didn't know how to be with limited practice going into this week. I put in some practice before a week-long work trip, but coming back, just coming from a illness, shaking it off, so I didn't know how to go. But yeah, quite happy. I know Dave Jensen was giving me a run for my money, and I think he spun in front of me, so I'll have to thank him for that one.
Well, yeah, that was rather unfortunate for Dave, but fortunate for you. Next week we're at Daytona, a totally different track. How are you going to do there?
Interested to see how it goes. I think Daytona, everybody's kind of familiar with it, so I enjoy the track, so I'm looking forward to it.
Awesome. Well, any shout-outs tonight, Jacob?
Yeah, to my wife and to the SRT boys. So I really appreciate them and all the time, effort, and practice they put in to get the speed that needed to win.
Awesome. Well, congratulations. We'll see you next week.
Thanks, gentlemen. Have a good one.
You too.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, what an absolutely fantastic evening it's been here on Racers Nexus. It's fair to say I've had a lot of fun. I believe Richard has as well. And indeed, Rob, we will indeed hope that he does recover very, very shortly. Certainly for your guys' sake. I mean, you really want to put up with this guy again? It's been an entertaining day indeed, as I can hear Rob. You can't hear him, but you can hear him sniggering a little bit there in the background. But week 3, ladies and gentlemen, the SASCHENRING, it sure did deliver on the action. Jack Hedgecock was able to run away with an outright lead of about, ladies and gentlemen, 11.7 seconds. What an astonishing performance. Oleg Lovkop got involved in an incident earlier on, fell back, and then made an astonishing dash through the field. But the hard charger, without a doubt, Josh Gowen there, made his way up to P17 overall and P5 in class. But ladies and gentlemen, you have indeed been watching Racers Nexus. My name is Daniel Zippy Salmon, and joining me in the booth today, the one and only, the seasoned gentleman himself of Richard Swindells, with Rob, the absolute legend of a producer Campbell, at the production controls. Ladies and gentlemen, make sure you hit that like, hit that subscribe button. If you have immediate family that would like to watch this, please encourage them. Show some interest in your passion, and if you do manage to get them to do that, please teach me how to do it. But ladies and gentlemen, you've been watching Racers Nexus, and we'll see you next week for more Throttle Freaks GT3.
Good night.